Welcome to another installment of Go Fuck Yourself Fake News Network. I don't have a fancy intro and I don't have any fancy names. It's just me, your old pal from the old Lookout Lodge. Just stepping in for a second on the ride home to touch on a couple of things that got, actually only one thing really. Mostly just this opportunity to spew my filthy bigotry and my racist, alt-right hate speech. Yahoo, and I don't know why I keep getting these. I think it's because I never told them to stop. But I keep getting these notifications from Yahoo. I have an email account through them. And they send me notifications on major news issues. And I remember hearing something about it, I believe it was yesterday, late last night-ish, I don't know, about the federal guidelines surrounding the whole transmissional genderization of children, if you will, in the public school system. At any rate, today, like I said, I got that notification from Yahoo, and it said that Trump, and this goes also with my last video, which I had mentioned about the negativity, the mass negativity in the news and how it sells. The way that Yahoo had printed this piece, or at least the notification, seemed pretty dire, in the sense that, oh my God, fascist, racist, homophobic, terribilistic Trump it's just crucified all of the confused young adolescent children in America. I have to actually read into it, and not just the stupid little notification that I got from them and link to their article. I will read what they said, but I don't take typical mainstream news and just read it and take it for face value. I want to read into it to see how my personal opinion fits into what. Well, again, see, that's the thing. It's all my personal opinion. So whatever that part of it is doesn't really matter as far as what everyone else has to do. But I'm just curious. I want to read into it, see exactly what these federal guidelines are. I can only imagine what they are. I'm sure that any gender of child is completely permitted to pretend to be any gender that they would like to be, and flog themselves in the restroom of their choice at the schools. I could be wrong, and again, I have to read into it. But from what I can tell in the hateful piece that Yahoo threw out there on Trump, was that he's simply taking away any federal level allowance for this activity and remanding it to the states to come up with their own play-by-play on this. I was wondering exactly just where that lies in the political leaning left or right, as far as when you want to go with the states' rights. If I remember correctly, when I was learning about that stuff, it was the states' rights was what was the prelude to the Civil War, when the southern states simply said, look, fuck you, we want the right as the state of X to do Y, and you can go Z about it. Now, I don't really know, again, in my ignorance, I'm not the political analyst that I would like to be someday, but I will learn about this more and figure out exactly where that puts me on the political spectrum. Again, I'm not sure. It would, with the pole shift or paradigm shift in the way things are, it would seem like that would. I thought I heard something about Southern Democrat. Am I wrong? I don't know, man. I got to read into it and figure out exactly what political party it was. It was very interested in states' rights versus the federal system coming in and simply blanketing all states with their one agenda. Personally, I don't really, I don't know, I don't see a ton of problem with states being given the right for certain issues. Does that sound bad? I don't know. As far as this particular issue with the whole gender identity crisis that we're going through, because first of all, let me be frank and say that I even though think it's odd personally and completely made up in the mind with, you know, this is kind of stepping out there looking to get curb stomped by the radical left. But I do think that transgenderism is something of a mental condition. In any case, good on you, bro. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't care if you want to wear, females' clothing, historically female clothing, whatever. However you want to go with this, great. Good for you. If you're gay, great. Good for you. I don't give a fuck in either direction. I don't care. However, like I had said, I do believe that this whole, and especially with children, I'm not sure about where I stand with this whole thing with the kids. If you're, first of all, under 18 years old, you're not allowed to enter into any binding legal agreement. So I'm not sure how it is that you can really reassign yourself. I don't know if you can get the surgery and, for the, I don't know. Now I'm just kind of talking out of my ass. But in any case, back to the states, I do believe that in some instances, states have, I believe, a better chance at governing themselves. Some things I kind of like the thought of the federal system implementing themselves upon the people to make a blanket, but very, very comparatively less so for the latter. But I don't know, I'm enjoying making these videos because instead of talking to myself, I get to pretend that I'm talking to all of you people, and now there's a couple hundred people that are, for some reason, watching this. Funny as that is. I don't know. In and of itself, that's kind of interesting and fun. But instead of talking to myself, like I said, it's better to sit here and talk to a camera. I get a couple of comments every now and again where people will tell me their input, and I think it's kind of a good way to learn some of these things. Like I had said, I don't understand exactly where that lies on the political spectrum with the states' rights versus the federal level, and I don't see why it really matters. In this case, though, with the kids, I don't know. I really think that they tried to do a nice little burn on the president because, of course, everything he does is just terrible and racist. I mean, we know that. So, for him to say that maybe the federal government need not implement laws to include, 0.02% of the population to piss off the rest, I don't know. Because that's what it seems like it is as far as this very special interest group, which I think is what you would refer this to, a special interest group. Very, very small percentage. I'm not sure why, actually, rather, the entire population must go about a different way of thought or a different way of doing things to accommodate a very small portion of the population, while at the same time trying to be compassionate, because it is a person, right? Like I had said, if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're black, if you're Chinese, whatever your deal is, hey, whatever. I don't think that anyone should be discriminated against. But at the same time, I don't see why everyone else should feel uncomfortable to. It's like my mom and dad used to tell me, we're having fucking spaghetti, okay? If you don't want to eat what's on the table, go fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding. They didn't say that, but I definitely got my instincts told me that if I wasn't eating what was there, that I probably wasn't going to eat. And I don't know, I just think that's the way of it. The majority of people, while being compassionate to others, should probably be considered. I thought that when Target had jumped out the window on the social left bandwagon and started, oh, you can do whatever you want here. Oh, you're a guy? Yeah, sure. Come on into the women's bathroom because, hey, who are we to say that you're not a 6-year-old girl at 40? Or, I've just seen some really wild out there examples of this stuff. And I don't know. Just touching on the video that I had made earlier about the negativity factor and how even though the fucking guy, all he did was, as far as I could tell, again, I got to read into it, but as far as I could tell, all he simply said was, we're done with the federal on this, kicking this right back to the states. Do what you fucking want, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and if I'm a bigot, well, I guess I'm going to have to wear my bigot hat, because, how dare I have an opinion on a matter. But that was my ride home, so that's enough. See ya, YouTube.